Hi everybody, I'm Domenica Dean, and for this week's video discussion, I have selected the winter encampment at Valley Forge. As we know, George Washington needed to establish quarters for the winter of 1777-78, and the location needed to allow observation of the British Army located in Philadelphia. The hilly landscape around the village of Valley Forge in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, was the perfect location. It was located about 18 miles from what was then the city of Philadelphia. We have learned that there were a number of factors that led to why the location was chosen and what activities were to be conducted that winter. George Washington laid out the encampment with a system of fortifications, cannon placements, 2 miles of trenches. The soldiers were then given orders and specifications to build huts for themselves as living quarters. Each hut was only 14 feet by 16 feet, and that housed 12 soldiers. Approximately 1,000 huts were built around the farming and industrial community of Valley Forge. Although not the harshest of the Revolutionary War winters, the soldiers did live in overcrowded, unhygienic conditions, with nearly 2,000 of the men dying from illness and malnourishment. But this was also the time when Friedrich von Steuben trained the soldiers and helped to create the professional Continental Army. By late spring, there were more than 20,000 soldiers there, along with over 400 women. They were serving as doing the laundry, they were the cooks, they were doing sewing, and they were there with their family members. There were also slaves of the different officers who were stationed there, and also members of the Oneida and Tuscarora Native American tribes. They were there either as scouts or because they knew the landscape, they were helping with that. But now in the 21st century, how's Valley Forge been preserved, and what historic role does it play? Today, the National Park Service interprets the events of that winter encampment. This historic park has more than 3,500 acres of mostly meadows and woodlands. The house that George Washington and his officers used is preserved, and visitors are able to tour it, at least the first floor. This is called the Isaac Potts House. Although the original huts were dismantled after that winter, they were unhygienic and needed to be burned. There are 9 reproductions located in the area of the original huts, so you can get a better idea of what it was like for them. The significance of Valley Forge Winter Camp is about both its history and its myth. There is symbolic importance to what we've all gained from the months spent there, and the preservation efforts have been successful. However, not everybody sees it that way. There are over 2 million acres of land within the boundaries of our national parks that aren't federally owned. And in 2008, there was a hotly contested proposal for development of a 78-acre parcel within the boundaries of the Valley Forge National Historic Park. It's difficult to trace back all of the development that is encroaching on this national park site, but there is a casino and a resort within a very short walking distance of the visitor center. It's a very well-developed area outside of a very large city. It can also be difficult to determine where preservation should end and development be allowed to begin, especially considering that in the winter of 1777-78, this was already a well-developed area. It was a little industrial town outside of a large city. But the value of a location like Valley Forge, one of the most famous episodes of the American Revolution, enriches all of our history. And if you're ever in the area, it's definitely worth the trip. There's not a lot of redevelopment. It's mostly meadows and woodlands, but it is definitely worth going and seeing what is there. You can use your own vehicle. You can walk. There's a National Park Service trolley that you can use. They even rent bicycles there. And when I was there the last time, it was about 10 years ago, I can remember being in the Isaac Potts house and touching the wall. And we were there in the summer, but it's a stone house and the wall was cool. And just sort of thinking, who may have walked through this hallway and touched this wall? It really is worth the trip. Thank you.